Hello and welcome to Eye on Africa for your latest roundup of news from across the continent. I'm Jean-Emile Jameen. Coming up on the show, DR Congo forces launched drone strikes on M23 rebels near Rubaya, a key coltan mine, as militias capture Kazinga. Civilians are terrified. Clashes rage in North and South Kivu, with foreign drones and paramilitaries shaping the conflict's deadly frontiers. Then Kenya begins administering its first doses of Lenacapavir, a groundbreaking long-acting HIV prevention drug. Described as a moment of hope, these twice-yearly injections slash the risk of HIV transmission by nearly 100%, offering new protection and peace of mind for millions at high risk across the country. And the tastes of Africa are on full display at the Paris Agricultural Fair, including Sudan, showcasing its unique flavors despite the devastation of war. Joining us on set will be leading economic development expert Mona Hassan Mirani, who has been setting up her own stall at the event. Welcome to the show. In eastern DR Congo, government forces have launched a major offensive against the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, targeting a strategic coltan mine near Rubaya with drone strikes. Local militias allied with the army captured villages along the front line, while clashes continued in North and South Kivu. Residents have described widespread fear, with access to strike sites blocked and communications down. The fighting comes despite a proposed ceasefire and US-mediated diplomacy. Emmett Livingston has the latest from the region.
Heavy clashes between Congolese forces and M23 rebels have broken out in Masisi territory in North Kivu, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, according to several sources. This uptick in the fighting comes after a deadly drone strike against the M23 on Tuesday near the important mining town of Rubaya. William Goma, the M23's military spokesman and a well-known figurehead, was killed in this strike, according to several security sources, although the details about what precisely happened remain hazy. Fighting now appears to have intensified on several fronts, and not just in North Kivu. M23 spokesman Lawrence Kanyuka said on Wednesday that Congolese forces had stepped up attacks in neighbouring South Kivu province as well. And on Thursday, the M23 also denounced what it called repeated violations of a ceasefire by the Congolese government. The Congolese authorities have not yet commented on the latest clashes, but on social media this week, the Ministry of Defence posted an image paying tribute to its soldiers on the front lines. Ceasefires have repeatedly been declared over the years in the M23 conflict without ever putting a stop to the fighting.
Moving on now, Kenya has begun administering the first doses of a groundbreaking, long-acting HIV prevention drug, which completely shuts down the virus's ability to spread through the body. Laurent Beshtecker has more.
Make informed choices.
Rolling out a groundbreaking HIV prevention treatment, Kenyan authorities on Thursday administered the country's first doses of Lenacapavir, a drug that reduces the risk of transmission by over 99%.
HIV remains a reality in our country. About 1.4 million Kenyans are living with HIV. Today is a moment of hope for thousands of Kenyan families.
Kenya was one of 9 African countries selected last year to introduce the drug, with the likes of Zambia and South Africa having already rolled out their first batches in December. Lenacapavir, or LEN, essentially prevents the HIV virus from spreading through the body, but it isn't classified as a vaccine, as it doesn't train the immune system. And while the injection could potentially revolutionize HIV prevention, it has no effect on those already living with the virus. Besides its impressive success rate, the drug also presents a major advantage compared to other preventive treatments. Recipients only need to take it twice a year instead of every day.
I used to take another type of tablet, but I had problems monitoring my intake, and at times I would even forget to take the pills.
Despite its proven efficacy, medical professionals warn the drug should complement rather than replace other prevention strategies, and urged recipients to continue to promote safe sexual practices.
Moving to the topic of Sudan now, the United Nations says civilian killings more than doubled in 2025 amidst the nearly 3-year war between the army and rapid support forces. Tens of thousands have died, 11 million have been displaced, and famine has spread in Darfur and Kordofan. At the same time, the UN's first flight to Khartoum in 3 years delivered aid this Thursday. Members of the world body also revealed that RSF violence in Kordofan Darfur bears the hallmarks of genocide. That was the comments of Volker Turk, the UN human rights spokesperson. But despite the war devastating its economy, Sudan is proudly showcasing the best of its rich agricultural heritage here at Paris's Salon d'Agriculture, Europe's largest farming expo. As Africa takes center stage with Ivory Coast in the spotlight for this year's edition, Sudan is also making its mark. And joining us in studio is Mona Hassan Mirghani, Sudanese businesswoman, economic expert, and founder of Lean Consulting. Thank you so much for joining us here in the studio, Mona. And I can see that you have brought some of your amazing products from the country with you. If you could just, before we get into the detail, describe them so we can really get a taste of what Sudan is about.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. We have Sudan is rich with different products of agriculture. We have in different regions, we have different products. Each region it has like a unique of agriculture productions. Like in West Sudan, we have hibiscus, we have what is called karkade in Sudan. We have gum arabic. We have spices from North Sudan, coriander. We have simsim, sesame, and East Sudan. All they are natural products or forest products like baobab.
Baobab.
Baobab, which is called tabaldi in Arabic country. It is forest productions. And most of our products is rain season productions.
Okay, so these are season specific, but now these have all come from Sudan, and we've just been mentioning right now the difficulties, absolute throngs of war facing the country, and it has been that way for 3 years. And I'm sure everyone looking at this will be asking themselves, how have you managed to bring these over to Paris and showcase them?
Actually, yes, Sudan have been suffering a lot from this ongoing war and the violence. And we have faced many difficulties and we take risk over to transport these products from Sudan to here. We find our way through other country. We make transit for the products, like South Sudan. Mm-hmm. Some other people, they use Chad for transport, which is long road. And it costs double of the price of the normal transportation through our port Sudan, of Sudan. It is so hard for us. It is risky because the war is going on right now. And even if there is no secure state, still there is like bombing of using drone for the resources, for the transportation. At any time, you can expect bombing or attack.
So what you've done here is quite clever because you've actually separated the food into different parts of Sudan where it is from. And I'm just curious because all the violence that we're seeing is predominantly right now in the Darfur, Kordofan region. Al-Fasher has been very much part of that. But what you're saying as well is that even in the parts where the fighting is not as prominent, it's still as dangerous as ever for the farmers to bring their produce here to Europe.
Yes, of course, because while this war is going on, there is no safe area in Sudan because they use drone for each part of the power. They use drone for targeting the natural resources. For example, they bombing electricity station, which is in North Sudan, farmers depend totally on Nile for irrigation system. When they bomb the electricity, that means the irrigation system will stop, which is affect the season. The same thing in Kordofan, like 2 weeks ago, drone have been attack water resources for animals.
And what products there are most affected right now?
War products come from west of Sudan. Have been affected because the war is on the ground. Actually, it's difficult for the road because it's not secure. and there is a scarcity now for the resources in north side. From the products come from west and from Darfur.
How do you actually facilitate this process? Because if you're a farmer, and we've seen the displacement figures right now,
Yes.
it is absolutely massive, and it's not something that we think about too much, but the farmers themselves who actually have to create the food, and that's why we're getting so much famine in the country. They themselves are displaced. How do you actually facilitate that process to get the food to Chad, to the other countries, and then ultimately here?
Actually, the agricultural production reduced, not compared to previous years before the war. It is less, and as I tell that there is a scarcity of the resources now.
Mm-hmm.
We are trying to managing with our focal person in the area and coordinate with neighbor country like South Sudan. We're using South Sudan for us, as we know we are before one country and we know the habits and the regime over there, and we make transit for our products.
But that's also now at risk because of fresh fighting in that country.
Yes.
In terms of your operations, though, you working for Lean Consultancy. How much of a presence do you have in Sudan right now, and why is the Paris Expo, something like this, so important to help the country?
Actually, we are in participating in this show since 2019, and we see the opportunity for Sudanese products. We have Sudan is rich with cash crops products like simsim, like bisap, like الصمغ العربي, gum Arabic. All these have been Sudan is high country productive of these products. Sudan product 80% of gum Arabic, which is very important for manufacturing food of the world, actually. We see that we need to introduce our products for international market, and we go direct to the end users, because most of our products is for exporting more than local use, and we try to add value to our products instead of get like raw material for end marketing. For that, we make survey here, and we find that there is opportunity for Sudanese products to be introduced, as there is some other countries who have the same in West Africa, and we are not Frankfurt country, and it is new for us. We find that people like Senegal, Mali is already here, introduce some of our product actually, and this is like a good opportunity for us to.
Well, it's definitely worth a taste. Now it's a case of convincing investors that Sudan is still very much a partner they can rely on in the throngs of war. Unfortunately, that is where we do have to end this interview. But thank you so much, and absolutely fascinating. That's Mona Hassan Mirghani, who has her stand there at the Paris Agricultural Fair, and very much involved in the economics of the country, and, well, worth a visit. That's where we have to end this edition of Eye on Africa. There's more coming up in just a few moments here on France 24.
Open your mouth. It's a pop ada.
So they've made a small cut. So then we used the umeweka hiyo black stone ama. Clinically, it does nothing. 7:30 she had the bite, 8 o'clock she was here. I expect the anti-venom was given at 8:30. So well done, guys. This is really good.
Kenya is meant to be creating our own anti-venom anytime soon.
Watch Kenya, Deadly Snake Bites, Kenya's Silent Killer on France 24.